Hi everyone, it's me Ray
And Niall.
we're back again. So we usually do very funny videos full of laughter. But today we were going to focus on a more serious topic.
So today we're going to be talking about mental health in specifically young children.
Academically, because we're both in very important years.
Yep.
I'm in year 6
And I'm in year 10, so I've just started my GCSE courses.
and I've got my stats to think about. I've just done my mocks. So mental health in children, people usually think that children can't have anxiety or depression because they're too young, they don't know what these feelings are, they just want attention. It's not true, because children can be going through all sorts of different things, even as small as they didn't get the grade they wanted on a test.
And I feel like a lot of the time it's just, oh, you have anxiety, so they just brush it away when it's more than that. And there's more they can do to help you.
And a lot of people like to ignore the fact that children, their mental health is just as important as everybody else.
Yeah.
Things like peer pressure can really affect this. Seriously.
There are loads of different types of peer pressure.
Spoken peer pressure,
Unspoken peer pressure,
direct peer pressure,
indirect peer pressure,
positive peer pressure.
and negative peer pressure.
Anaya, have you experienced any peer pressure?
One example I have of peer pressure is when loads of people want to bunk their lessons, and as you know, it's a very important year for loads of people in my year group because there's loads of content to cover for your GCSEs and you have to know all this content to be able to pass. And I feel like those who did bunk learned their lessons because they're obviously going to fail loads of their tests. And I feel like if your friends are forcing you into negative peer pressure, then they're not really your friends because they don't truly want what's best for you.
Certain people choose peer pressure as their coping mechanism for certain things like the pressure of exams. Like somebody I know, they broke down crying because they didn't get the mark they wanted. The mark was very high, but they were not very happy because they knew that their parents wouldn't be very happy. Which brings us on to family support. Sadly, some people don't have the family support that I'm so grateful that we were born with.
Yeah.
So I know that from a child's perspective, if there's someone who I know is always wanting to be on their own, secluding themselves, not necessarily
in their room all the time.
Yeah, not liking the idea of being
Socializing.
Yeah, being with anyone that isn't themselves. I'm not saying that necessarily someone is doing something dangerous, but I do think parents should dive deeper, or adults should dive deeper and just try to get to the bottom of why.
And I feel like if you notice that your child has just all of a sudden become unsociable, not wanting to do anything with their family, their friends or anything.
Especially if
At
they
all.
used to be like a social butterfly,
Yeah.
that could be a sign of something.
Or a change in behaviour or whatever, then parents do need to take a deeper dive, not just brush it off, say, oh, they're just a teenager, that's why. It's more than that. I feel like your academics can really affect your mental health as well, because a lot of people set expectations too high for themselves and they're scared to fail every once in a while. Not everything has to be perfect.
Things like this can really strain friendships. Like if one friend is really focused on their exams and they're pushing everybody else away, no matter what it is, because they just have to be that perfect, it can really put a strain on the friendship.
Yeah. And I feel like you shouldn't be scared or embarrassed to speak out. These things are normal for children, for younger children. It's
For
just
people
not
in
spoken.
general.
Yeah, it's just not spoken about as much as it should be.
And it shouldn't be seen as you have something wrong with you. Don't let anyone tell you that. It's just you deal with things a different way than someone else may. So if you do want to speak to someone, don't think that they're going to call you names, they're going to say there's something wrong with you. There isn't. Do not ever let anyone tell you that.
Yeah. And remember to always speak to a trusted adult. That trusted adult doesn't have to be your parents, it can be a teacher, a relative, it can be whoever you want. Now we're going to leave you 2 positive quotes to remember. One of them is
Dan Millman.
Dan Millman, and he said you don't have to control your thoughts, you just have to stop letting them control you.
Remember that.
Okay?
And as Johnny Green says, there's hope even when your mind tells you there isn't.
Here are some mental health services for young people. So you have Young Minds,
Place to Be,
the NSPCC,
Childline,
and Action for Children.
and remember, don't be afraid to speak out.